Organic chemistry. Topic name is HyperConjugation, and these are the learning outcomes. Let's have some introduction of this topic. So in conjugation, as we all know that the electrons move from one p orbital to other p orbital which are aligned in parallel planes. Now here arises a question that is it possible for the electrons to jump from one p orbital to sp3 orbital that are not parallelly aligned with one another? So the answer is yes, it is possible. Although it is not normal, this kind of conjugation is extraordinary. So that's why they are called hyperconjugation. And it is also known as no bond resonance. Now the reason behind this no bond resonance I'll tell you in a moment, but for now let us study more about hyperconjugation. So here I have shown you the order of alkyl group showing the normal I effect, or we can say the normal electron releasing inductive effect, that is the plus I effect. But here in this normal order, the Baker and Nathan, who are the scientists, they observed something else. They said that in a conjugated system, the attachment of alkyl group reversed their capability of electron releasing. So here if you see that the carbon which is attached with 3 alkyl group is having the highest plus I effect, but in a conjugating system we will see that the carbon which is attached with 3 alkyl group will have the lowest electron releasing capability than the carbon which is attached with hydrogen. So here the Baker and Nathan said that the alkyl group attached with the conjugative system have reversed their capability of electron releasing. They suggested that alkyl group are capable of releasing electrons by some process other than inductive effect. Now let us study more about hyperconjugation. So what happens in hyperconjugation? The carbon and hydrogen sigma bond, they are in conjugation and the sigma electrons of this bond enter into the conjugation. This is the extension of normal conjugation. And what happens in normal conjugation? In that the pi electron gets delocalized in p orbital, but here in hyperconjugation the sigma electrons move to p orbital, not the pi electron, the sigma electron. Please keep it in mind. So it involves the delocalization of CH sigma bond or the CH sigma electrons. It essentially means that hyperconjugation depends on the presence of alpha hydrogen atom. Okay, so this is the requirement for hyperconjugation. Now the thing which I have said that Baker and Nathan observed, here it is shown in the order. With the increase in number of such hydrogens, the electron releasing effect of alkyl group also increases, okay, as we can see in this order. So the contributing structure involving sigma electrons of carbon CH bond, they do not show any covalent bond. This is something different, right? The electrons, that is the sigma electrons of a carbon hydrogen bond which are involved in contributing structure of hyperconjugation, they do not show covalent bond, and that's why it is called no bond resonance. This is the reason why hyperconjugation is also called no bond resonance. But it's important to note that this hydrogen is not separated completely with the molecule, because if that happens, the necessary condition for resonance to occur will be violated. Okay, so that's why it is not separated completely. So the hyperconjugation, the requirement for hyperconjugation are as follows. So the molecules which are alkenes or carbocations or free radicals, they must have at least one alpha hydrogen atom. Now this condition is not for carbanions. If they do not have any alpha H hydrogen, that's why that in that case also they will show hyperconjugation. So alpha H atom is not necessary for carbanions. Here you can see the structure of alkenes, ethene, one propene. In the middle structure it is showing the carbocation, and the third structure is showing you the free radical. Now let's talk about the hyperconjugation in propene and hyperconjugation in toluene. Let's look into the first diagram. So in the first diagram we have the first contributing structure. We have CH3 group that is donating the electrons to the conjugated system. Here the conjugated system is CH double bond CH2. So it is taking electrons from the carbon attached with the hydrogen, and it's making something resonating structure, okay, and it is showing hyperconjugation, and H is having the positive charge on it. Similarly, in the third structure, another hydrogen of the alpha carbon is having the positive charge on it, and in fourth structure it is the different hydrogen, okay, but the process which is happening is the same, okay. Here we can clearly see that there is delocalization of sigma electron present between the carbon and hydrogen, okay. So in hyperconjugation of toluene also we can see that the CH3 group is showing the plus H effect, that is the hyperconjugation effect. It is giving the electron from the carbon H hydrogen bond to the conjugated system, okay. So these are the examples for hyperconjugation. Now let's talk about some must requirement that are necessary for hyperconjugation. So first is the presence of alpha hydrogen group or a lone pair on an atom adjacent to sp2 hybrid carbon, or if some other atom is connected with it like nitrogen and oxygen. And for that the molecule which have alpha CH group are alkenes, alkyl carbocations, alkyl free radicals, nitro compounds with alpha hydrogen. Now due to the presence of hydrogen on the alpha carbon, displacement of s electron towards a multiple bond takes place, and this causes the polarization of the multiple bond, which we have seen in the hyperconjugation structure of toluene and propene, okay. In propene, the delocalization of sigma electron of CH bond of methyl group occur into the p orbital of doubly bonded carbon, which is shown in this following structure. So in this structure we can clearly see that the remaining hydrogen on the methyl group also contribute in the hyperconjugation, and it is possible because of free rotation of carbon-carbon bond, so that the other carbon-hydrogen bond can also contribute in the hyperconjugation. So therefore propene molecule can illustrate the resonance structure which suggests its stability, okay. So everything is very clear from this figure. Now let us talk about the objective questions related to this topic. First question is, hyperconjugation involves overlap of the following orbital. So sp orbital is the right answer, which we have just seen. Now second question is, in which of the following hyperconjugation exists? Now alkene carbocation free radical, we have studied about them, and all these show the hyperconjugation. So answer D, all of the above is the right answer. So we have completed our topic. These are the topics which we have covered in this lecture. Thank you so much for watching this video.